Okay, hi guys. So today we're going to be using what we figured out in the last class on Tuesday. And this time, instead of just drawing one line, we're going to draw two lines using two equations, and we're going to find the point of intersection. Okay, so your title today should be points of intersection. And we're going to use the exact same method that we've been doing in the last class as well. So I've got this equation here, y equals x plus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let x equals 0 and I'm going to solve for y. And I'm going to let y equals 0 and solve for x. Okay? So starting with the guy on the left hand side, all I'm going to do is substitute the 0 in for x. So I'll write out the line first of all, y equals x plus 3. So my x is equal to 0, so I have y equals 0 plus 3. So my y is equal to just 3. So this point here, remember, all points are of the form x first, then y. So the x number goes first, and then the y number goes second. The x number here is 0, and the y number is 3. So this point is 0, 3. Then for this guy here, I'm letting y equals 0. So I'll write it all out again. I have y equals x plus 3. And what I'm going to do then, I'm going to substitute this 0 in for y. So I have 0 equals x plus 3. Now, normally we put letters on the left and numbers on the right. All I'm going to do this time is I'm going to put my number on the left. So I'm going to have equals x. So I've moved the 3 to the left-hand side. This is equal to minus 3. Okay? In other words, this is the same as saying x equals minus 3. These two lines here are exactly the same. Just one's written backwards and one's written forwards. Okay? And now again, I'm going to write out my point. So it's the x value first, which is minus 3, and then the y value, which is up here, 0. And now what we do then is we're going to draw this point. So I've got on the next slide a graph. So I'm going to plot the point 0, 3 and minus 3, 0. So 0, 3 is going to go over here. And minus 3, 0 is going to go over here. And then as best as I can, so when you're drawing your lines, make sure you're using a ruler. But it's going to go something like that. So that's my first line. This is this line here, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this line, but I'm going to do it in blue, okay? So we're going to do the exact same thing. We let x equals 0, solve for y, and we let y equals 0, solve for x. So when x is equal to 0, so y is equal to minus 3x plus 3. So y is equal to minus 3 times 0 plus 3. So any number multiplied by 0 is just going to be 0. So y equals 3. So my point then, remember it's xy, so it's going to be like this. X is equal to 0, so 0 goes here. Y is equal to 3, so 3 goes there. And now I do the same, but this time I'm letting y equals 0. So this time I've got 0 equals minus 3x plus 3. This time I am going to bring my x to the left-hand side. The reason I'm doing it this time is because it's a minus 3x. So I know when this goes to the left-hand side, it's going to become positive. So I'm thinking ahead a little bit. That's what I'm doing. So I bring this minus 3x to the left, and it becomes a positive 3x. 3 is going to stay there. So 3 multiplied by a number is equal to 3. What is that number? That number is 1. So my point then is my x value first, which is 1, and my y value second. Okay, so now we're going to plot this point now. So it was the point 1, 0, which is here, and 0, 3, which is here. And when we draw these as best as I can, Oh, that is a terrible straight line. So again, make sure you're using the ruler. So what we're going to figure out, and I'm going to do it now in red, the point of intersection is right there. Because this is where the point where the two lines meet, or the two lines cross. And that is the point 0, 3. So the point of intersection is 0, 3. So 0, 3 is the okay. So what I'm going to do now is give you a chance to, you should pause this and make sure that you've got all this information taken down. Maybe even the question as well. Definitely take down the question. Only for this example, you need to take down the question. So pause this, make sure you take it all down. And then pause this and make sure you take it down. Just the graph and the point of intersection. Okay? And now, guys, I'm going to give you a chance. So I'm going to do part of this one first of all. And I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this bit for you, this line here. But I'm going to do this one because this -1/4 is really ugly. So I'm going to draw a line down the middle. I'm going to let x equals 0 and y equals 0. So when I let x equal 0, I'm going to have y is equal to -1/4 multiplied by 0 plus 2. So y is equal to any number multiplied by 0 is always going to be 0. 0 plus 2 just gives me 2. So my point, remember all points are x, y, is the 0 first because we let x equal 0 and the 2 second. Now, for this one, what I'm going to do, so my y is equal to 0, but I'm going to change my -1/4 to a decimal, -0.25, okay? Might make things a little bit easier. So instead, I'm going to have a 0 equals -0.25 x plus 2. I'm going to bring this -0.25 x to the left-hand side, so it's going to become 0, a positive 0.25 x is equal to 2. Now 0.25 multiplied by a number gives me 2. Okay, another way of doing this is that you could divide, I'll do it in red. You can divide by the number in front of the x. So the number in front of the x is 0.25. And what I do to one side, I do to the other, 0.25. So what you're going to be left with, 0.25x divided by 0.25 is actually just 1x. 2 divided by 0.25, if you do it on your calculators, is going to give you 8. So this gives me the point 8, 0. Because x equals 8 and y equals 0. So what I'd like you guys to do, because this line now is a little bit easier, you're going to let x equals 0 and y equals 0. Okay, so I should do this in a different color. I'll do it in blue. And you're going to substitute it into the line y equals -x plus 5, y equals -x plus 5. So pause the video, substitute your x equals 0 in here and tell me what value you get for y. Substitute your y equals 0 in here and what value you get for x, okay? And what are the 2 points? So pause the video and give that a go, and I'll go through it now in a second. Okay, so we're letting x equals 0. So we're going to have y equals -0 plus 5. Now, it doesn't matter if my 0 is positive or negative, it's still a 0. So y is just equal to 5. So my point here is the x first, which is 0, then the y, which is 5. And now we'll do the same here. We're letting y equal 0. So we have 0 equals -x plus 5. So I'm going to bring this negative x to the left hand side, and it's going to become a positive x, and that's going to be equal to, I just have the 5 on the right hand side now, so the point is x first, which is 5, y second, which is 0, and that's my point. So now, guys, why don't you try graphing these points? So make sure, pause the video, make sure you've got all this taken down, and then try to graph these points on this axis. So in blue, you're going to have the point 0, 5, and 5, 0. And in black, we're going to have the point 0, 2, and 8, 0. You're going to have to extend this a little bit further to 8, 6, 7, 8, okay, for 8, 0. So pause the video and try to plot the two lines and tell me what your point of intersection is. Okay, so now let's go through it. So I'm going to do the guys in black first. So 0, 2. 0, 2 should be around there. And 8, 0 is going to be this point there. And with a ruler, you're going to connect these dots as best you can. So something like that. And then I'll do the other points in blue. So 0, 5 is this point all the way up there, and 5, 0 is this point here. And when we put it in, oh God, that's really wrong. So my graph, as you can see, is not straight because I don't have a ruler. I'm freehanding at the moment on a tablet. So I'm pretty sure it should cut at this point here. So I'll do it in red. It should cut here, and I think it should be at the point 4, 1. And yeah, so your point of intersection should have been the point 4, 1. So it should. My graph is a bit off, but when you're drawing yours with rulers and gridded lines, you should have got the point 4, 1 as the point of intersection. Okay, so there's one more question that we're going to do, which is exactly the same, but I'm going to run out of time in this first video, so I'll see you guys in the second video. Goodbye.